because they find somebody they think they're in love with, and they want to spend the rest of their life with that person. So they get married.
Well, no, before the 1900s, the whole aspect of love and marriage did not exist. They didn't do that. They got
Yeah,
married specifically for procreation or for transfer of wealth.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so you're talking about like modern, like today,
Um, and
today. Now, to a serious point though,
but a lot of
it,
women nowadays don't feel the need to get married, so that's not.
it's also a status thing too, though. It's like there is this thing that I don't particularly like, where in this country, if you're a woman in your 40s and you've never been married, you're somehow looked at as a failure. You
That's that
know?
old
I
European
think
thing.
I think that's some
Yeah.
shit. That's some shit that's personally with that person. Cause as we
Right.
see, we gonna get to the ages where people are just going to date. That's why I'm trying to get your full definition of dating versus somebody you just hook up and just have sex
Yeah,
with.
dating is, to me, dating is a preliminary stage of trying to determine, is this a person you want to have a relationship with. So you're not 100% committed to this person, but she's not just like a fuck buddy. She's like, yeah, you having sex with her, but there's
Okay.
potential for a relationship.
Seems to me like she would be more so gauging you and not really the other way around.
Right,
Because
right.
if you're
Uh,
let me expound.
okay, go ahead.
Because if you are dating, right, in the context of this society, we ain't going to Mesopotamia, okay? Your ass is paying for this date, okay? Chivalry
Yeah.
and all of that kind of shit. So you're invested.
Hmm.
You're investing
Hmm.
money that comes out of your paycheck or whatever you get. The monies that you get, which is a physical representation of your labor, your money.
Hmm.
You're invested.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
she's not paying shit. So she is gauging your ass, not the other way around.
Well,
Generally
now
speaking.
let me flip this. Let's go to the NBA. I'm going to draft this rookie. I'm going to pay for his expenses. He gets a contract, right? Now, it's not the big contract because I don't know what he can do yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of year he's going to have, right? So, after this date called a rookie season, the first 3 years, I'm like, you know what? This shit is whack. Yeah, I blew $3 million, but you know, I'm not going to give this guy the big contract because he hasn't proven himself. So it was an
Well, wait a
investment.
minute. What do you mean the first 3 years?
Because I'm talking about NBA, you get a rookie contract that
Oh, okay.
guarantees you money for 3 years, right? So that's like a 3 year long deal.
So you
So,
said that you couldn't take somebody that you was fucking and
so,
make them into a relationship?
but check this out. Let's say after the 3 years, that rookie is damn Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. So then he also has a decision to be like, okay, do I even want to sign with y'all?
Mm-mm.
Because I've proven who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like,
See,
that's what the
see,
woman could
and
do.
that way, if
So
you
after
saying
the dating thing, she could be like, okay, I played for this team for 3 years, and I'm like, yo, this ain't really what's cracking. They want to give me a bigger contract over here, you know? People, both sides can evaluate each other, right? And the woman can make her evaluations, the man can make his evaluations, and maybe they can come to an agreement to have the big contract, or she's not comfortable playing with this team anymore, she want to move on, or he's like, hey, I ain't finna re-sign you. So
hey,
it can
but you
cut
know
both
what?
ways.
You know what that sounds like though? You know what
What's
that sounds
that?
like? Does that not sound like prostitution?
No, I mean, let me tell you
No.
why. It's
Yeah.
prostitution because how you want to look at it, at the end of the day, you're paying for sex indirectly, one way or another, right?
Okay.
One way or whether you're going out to eat dinner. I narrowed down prostitution to a direct transaction, not indirect transactions, direct transaction where here is $500 because I am giving you this. You're going to give me that. You
Okay.
do it.
It's more structured, organized prostitution.
That's convenient
Yeah,
than a motherfucker for a motherfucker's mental stability. But go ahead, I'm listening.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
is it structured, organized prostitution then?
no, it's you could call it prostitution indirectly,
Okay, then
right?
let's get the word prostitution straight then. What is actually the definition? Y'all, anybody know?
Money in exchange for sex,
Well, that's
right?
the actual definition.
So,
Let me look this up.
let me get back.
Let's look up that word so we can actually be correct. And
Okay, let me get the real definition. Okay. Okay. Oh, now this is great. The practice or occupation of engaging sexual activity with someone for payment. So it's an occupation, right? So when you buy a girl,
Well, it said the practice or occupation. Be specific.
okay, the practice or occupation, right?
I
So,
mean, wouldn't a relationship be like a career?
well, no, because not every woman gets money off a guy. You know, some women are.
It's not like a career. It's no work. It's not like something that you know.
It's not. It's you know. You don't get a 401k, like, you know what I'm saying.
What the fuck else the fuck you do? If you sign, if you sign with the
Sign that marriage contract, and let's see if you don't. You know.
Well, I mean, like I said
what the
before.
fuck is a prenup?
But see, this is what I'm saying. Like I said before, you could say it's indirectly prostitution, being that there is certain payments that or certain perks a woman gets in exchange for having sex. But I wouldn't even say sex is necessarily exchange. That's just something that comes along with it. To me, I narrow prostitution down specifically to what it says right here. Sexual activity with someone for payment. So the purpose of this payment, the direct purpose of this payment that I'm giving you is for you to have sex with me. There's no other reason but you just to have sex with me.
Let's shift it a bit, Alvin. Let's shift it a bit if we may. Prostitution, right? Let's go to your own personal perspective now. As far as the sexes go, male and female, right? Who, from your perspective, who do you think takes the most issue with prostitution? Go.
Women.
Why?
Because of the negative connotation of sex trafficking. Little girls going into it early, being taken advantage of. Prostitutes are often associated with being weak-minded. You know, it has all these connotations behind prostitution.
Okay, I could accept that. I definitely understand where you're coming from too. Now, is it possible, right, that there are a certain segment of females that one of the top reasons that they have an issue with prostitution specifically is that it lowers the value of their pussy?
Some women may feel like that, but I don't think the logic works. Well, hold on. Now, hold on. Let me see. Wait a minute. Let me think about what you just said. So you're saying because they're putting a price on it.
I ain't make a statement. I asked a question.
What? Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to. Well, I'm asking to make sure I understand the question. Saying.
Sure.
So basically, you're asking like, okay, because they put an actual price on the sex, mine may not be as good because I'm giving it for free. So therefore, the value is deteriorating or something like that.
No, not
No.
necessarily giving it free. No, it's just that she is capitalizing on her sexuality on a way that I am not. Maybe it's for multiple reasons. Maybe I can't. Maybe I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? However, she gets a lump sum payment for, a lot of us less than a fucking hour. You know what I'm saying? And she spends multiple hours, depending on how attractive she is, whether she doesn't want to engage in this behavior. You know what I'm saying? And she gets fragments of payments for access to her pussy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that resentment. I could see somebody being resentful of that.
Let's get the Babs perspective on this. KK, Zahara, Shanika.
Yeah. Um, what? My perspective on prostitution?
Well, what we were
Well,
speaking about specifically.
yeah, the resentment of these women are capitalizing off something and getting paid a lot of money to do something any woman can do, but then the women that have more obligations not to do that and are not getting the same amount of money, they're having a level of resentment towards these women for kind of like selling out and doing something any woman could do, and
Lowering the
it,
value.
lowering the value of a woman who doesn't.
And you want my perspective?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, prostitution is like swimming around in filth for money. It's
Mm.
not anything to do with lowering the value. It's just like having sex is a very intimate act, and just having sex with random partners and they're paying you is just really gross.
Hmm. Anybody else? Okay. Shanika.
I don't know if they're there.
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
here.
oh there you go. Mhm.
I'm here. It's just the fact that that what Zahar was saying. And it's like, that's real and that's nasty and it's low down. You got to get that low. We got all kind of jobs in this world today now that we can do. I don't think that has to
Now,
be one of them. That's just me.
now I'm
A lot of people might disagree. Men might disagree on that. I really don't care. But my point was with Zahara. That's nasty. That's gross. You opening yourself up to catch STDs, AIDS, and HIV for some money.
And
No.
even outside of STD,
And wait a minute. We ain't even talking about the babies
yes.
and not even knowing who the
mm,
daddy is.
hmm But even
mm,
outside of those, just you don't know these people, and you're gonna let them inside of your body, and you don't even
Your
know their last
womb.
name.
I don't think that
Mm.
I don't really think that that's the lane that we was traveling down. It was more about that these certain group of females who decide to go down that path. Then it's another certain group of females that says that, hey, I still want my house. I still want to get reimbursed for you using my body or using my vajayjay or having access to my vajayjay. I still want my house, but I still want a companionship and everything else. What I'm saying is
Okay, okay, I
those
understand.
females that want the companionship and the partnership and this, that, and the third, and still want they still want to get reimbursed. Because remember, we said that we ain't it ain't just about no so called love and nobody being loyal. So they got to bring something to the table.
It's
Huh?
like that. Yeah, I understand now. This argument came up in some paper a few years back about whether or not housewives should be paid, whether or not houseworkers should be regarded as an actual professional career, and that yeah, that's glorified prostitution.
Yeah, see, that that's why I say you have
Hold on, let
indirect
Mother
prostitution.
Mother Beth was about to say, Shanika, you about to say something
Oh,
about
she
that?
about to say something?
Okay,
Shanika,
now that I hear what's saying, I'm here. Um,
okay.
my take on this, since the explained it, I'm with the other side of the females. That's like that right there. It makes it harder for an average female. That's actually not in that lane, not living that lifestyle.
I'm getting tired of your shit.
Oh
You
goodness,
don't
I knew it.
ever buy
Sit
me
down,
nothing.
off. Sit down. Turn it off. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. No. We remember what
As
happened
much
last time.
honesty
Don't you
as we
do it.
could bear.
Yeah, we gonna bear it all right. Don't make me boil no grits.
Oh shit.
Just don't throw it on my
Now,
face.
can I spin this on his head though? I'm I'm gonna spin it on his head, right? I got
Okay,
a
go
question
ahead. Go ahead.
for the Babs, right?
Right.
All right.
Okay, Shanika, what do you feel about a single woman,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And she meets a guy and
Mhm.
they date and they have sex and they got a sexual relationship now.
Okay.
What do we feel about that woman, right? Single woman,
Mhm.
that seems kind of normal, right?
That's an adult.
That's an
Okay.
adult, right?
All right. Yeah, I'm glad you put that out there, adults. Since you was young, I was going to say something.
Okay, so it's an
Uh.
adult,
Mhm.
female,
Mhm.
goes to a bar
Mhm.
or work or wherever, meets a guy,
Mhm. Mhm.
they start going out, they start having sex, grown woman shit, right?
Okay.
Okay, so now we got another female.
All right.
Same exact thing. Everything's the same. She
Mhm.
starts dating this guy, they talk on the phone and all of that. But wait a minute. He's ready to go to the next step.
Mhm.
And he's ready to have sex. And she's like, okay, cool. The only thing different she does from the other girl is says, you're going to have to give me $400 to get up in here. Now, what does that change from the other girl? They're
That
both doing the
changes.
same thing,
Okay.
except the one girl. She even says, "Hey, I mean, we can still hang out and talk. You're just not going to have sex. So unless you give me that $400." So what do we say about that second girl?
All kind of things come into play unless that man has already been used to that and he's already had a habit like that with women and he's already been in that particular lifestyle. He would be already comfortable because he already been in that lifestyle. But if he wasn't, um, that would be a little bit different. But his view of women will be distorted after that
I'm
interaction.
talking about like from the woman. Is that
Oh, okay, from the
woman?
woman.
Yeah, is that woman different from the other? Like, how much different does it make that woman from the other woman by
Very
saying
I
different.
mean, what's the difference between putting the $400 on the dresser and then 2 months later she's saying that she missed the car payment? You know what I'm saying? Really, what the fuck is the difference?
because I'm talking about direct. See, like I said, you have
I'm used to
indirect.
direct.
Think about it. How is that not direct? Whereas she up front saying, "I need this 400 to get in this pussy."
It's indirect because it's not them
It's
saying here.
passive. It's
Yeah,
passive. It's
because why?
passive.
Because emotions are evolved now to where she just play off your emotions and say, "Hey, baby, won't you be?" I need this money for my car payment. I messed up. I'm behind.
Yeah, it's
That's it.
indirect. It is something, but it's not direct.
Still paying though.
Like if she said, "Pay my car note and I'll let you smash," then that's like direct. Like this is what's going on. You're paying my
If
car
you,
note that I
all
text
right,
you,
come on.
as
I, I,
opposed
I,
to
I don't know. I'm gonna put myself out there, right? I'm gonna put myself, right? Because we talking about our behavior. So any female, right? And this is before the female that I'm with, and even at the beginning of this relationship, when I started coming over to her apartment, right? And I knew that I was gonna be coming over there. I'm not moving in because I didn't move. We didn't move in until we got our own together. But I'm saying when she had her apartment, if I knew I was gonna be going over there and spending the night here and there, I didn't have no issue with paying a cable bill or a light bill, or because that comes with the terror. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm coming home from work or I'm getting off of work, I can either go to the crib or no. Man, babe, I cook something. Come on over here and get you a meal. If I'm eating over there, I'm fucking over there. I'm taking showers over there. I'm not technically living there, but I'm there. What's the difference between we just and that wasn't really an established relationship. We was just you know what I'm saying? So I still pay for shit, so I don't really see no difference. And I'm talking about this is with past females. If you at a spot, I know I be because I just about 2 minutes from my spot. If I'm there and I'm humping on her, I know this might be we having sex or whatever. Between her being straight up and me just going ahead and pay a bill here and there.
I mean, the difference is that it's not straight up. I
It
mean,
is still straight up, bro. I'm still taking that money straight up out my pocket or from my debit card or whatever, and either swiping it or calling in to get my numbers off that motherfucker to pay the bill, or direct cash to her hand.
yeah,
It's
but
still
this is what I'm saying. It has to be when I'm saying indirect and direct. I'm saying this is the only reason I am giving you this money for sex.
so okay, all right. I
So
understand
it's
that. I
like
understand
so if it's indirect in some
because it's
ways or
okay.
whatever. I mean,
When emotions are involved, that's when it becomes indirect.
yeah, yeah. It's like indirect. Like there wasn't a proclamation where she said, "Okay, Asir, I'm only letting you hit because you're giving me money."
But we just okay. You wasn't here the other night. We had a conversation, and the Babs did say that when it come down to it, I'll go ask the question about if a dude actually loves you and shows loyalty to you, but he has nothing to offer, bring to the table. All the Babs say they ain't fucking with dude. He gonna have
Damn.
to bring something. He gonna have to
But that's
prove
a
something.
lie. You know what? They lie though,
That's not a fucking
because
lie.
I know a lot of broke niggas that got girls just infatuated with them, and they ain't got
Okay, yeah,
no
but we
kind of
talked
money.
about that too, though. Also, we said we put dick on the table too, though.
Right.
We talked about bringing the dick to the table too.
Oh, what's up, G? What's up,
So
man?
it's still something.
Good, man.
Hey, so you think one thing needs to be
He
redid?
over there on the game. Right, bro.
I want to hear your
What's up?
goddamn
Yeah.
drug exchange. At any rate,
Right. Yeah. Shanika K. What you had to say about what I had said? I mean, straight up, or even with the bill, if that brother gonna be there or be coming around, or y'all just sex buddies or however it is, if he, you know, doing whatever y'all say y'all gonna do, you gonna still expect the bill to be paid or something like that, right? Or expect him to have your back in a time of need. You gonna
In a
have to
time
bring
of
something.
need, yeah, but I'm not gonna sit up here and say I got my own place and dude come over and I'm telling him, okay, you know the light bill, dude. That light bill ain't in his name. That light bill is in my name. I'm I'm not
Mm.
finna come up through the door like, okay, boo, pick the bill you want. It's on the table.
it's more
So
implicit,
If
right?
if that's I feel like this. If it comes to the time of need and I say, hey, look, it is a time of need. I've always kept everything covered, but in the event I do need a little help, and he go and try to act like I asked him to pay my rent, and he start acting all brand new, bye. You fired. Get your
Fired.
walking papers. Yep. And
But
dope. Yeah, I'm not
his
fooling with you.
his
I'm
name
cutting them off.
his name ain't on that bill either though. Like you said earlier, his
No, it
name ain't on
ain't.
that
But I'm
bill.
saying in the time of need, if I ask him, yeah, it shouldn't be an issue because I always kept it covered. If I always took care of it and kept it covered in the event that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay the rent or pay the cable bill. I'm gonna pay the rent. Cable bill short. Okay.
Hmm.
It
Interesting.
shouldn't be no it shouldn't be no issue. Yeah, I some people feel like I'm kinda in the middle with that. In a sense, if I'm always taking care of everything and I run into a small situation. But versus the female that's like, okay, dude, if you're gonna be coming over here, I'm gonna need you to get in your, pull it out your wallet.
Oh no, well, I was explaining something about that's the type of person I am.
Mhm.
You know, no female ever said like even if I came to a female crib, other than maybe like two times before we made it a real relationship,
Mhm.
I always brought my own motherfucking beef and chicken to cook. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's just the type of person I am. If I'm be there, I ain't got no problem paying a cable bill or something. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yep. I mean, that just like what you were saying. It comes with the territory. But if it's that female that she got to have a Giuseppe heels and Giuseppe bag, and she got to have Prada and Chanel every day, all day, you knew what you was
But I
dealing
don't
with.
want no issue with that female either, though.
Because
No.
we're definitely not saying that it's relegated just to those types of females.
Okay. Okay.
And again, this is not about talking about whether it's wrong or right. These things it is. We're trying to have constructive, honest conversation about
Mhm.
how we deal with each other.
Mhm. Okay.
I mean that type of female is just you got. I'm just from what I'm saying. I don't see no difference in what she doing. She might be just doing it a little bit more frequently. I just think the way I perceive it, it's still on the other hand, it's on the same. It's the same thing. It's just done a different way. And you know how they say it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. It's it's a certain group of females. They just go about doing it a more conservative way. And then the other female, she just goes out there and be like, "No, what's up? I'm a hoe. It's good." You know, I don't really got no problem with her. You know, shit, those females cool. And I think that that's also maybe an issue too. That certain females look at those females as competition also because they keeping it up. And then most males really get into real get in depth conversation with those types of females. They be the really the coolest females. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. So you're asking me what is my opinion about the female that's not like that versus the female that is?
I think I was just making a statement.
Okay.
But you
I
have
really
like I would like for you to rebuttal or comment or give me your opinion on my statement though.
some females are passive and some are not. My experience with that long, long time ago. Um, when I was much, much younger, I really was. Mm, how do I put this in a way that people understand? I was the kind of female was like, okay, um, I have my own, you have your own. But if you're gonna be around me, you not just finna. Just for the cover our beat.
So how is that
Talk
different?
about that love. You just not should. I was a young girl. Boy, I was a young little mama. I was flying at the mouth and everything. Oh Jesus. Oh boy. I kept folks praying for me. I was on the prayer list at church. I know I was.
But how is that any different than what I was saying?
Okay, well here's the thing. I had um a guy, a boyfriend, that was just like you. Exactly like you. Same way and everything. Um, so what's the difference? Some females are, so to speak, don't they're not like that. Some females are just not like that. To be honest, they're gonna be like, what do I
What you
need?
mean
What do
like
I
that?
need?
Like they'll say no to somebody helping them
That's
out
trying to
or what?
pay. Yeah, they're very how do I put it? Very strong willed, very strong willed individual. I'm not saying that the other female is weak, but they will turn down a gentleman that is gonna
Well,
pay a
I mean
bill.
that comes from past experience of probably weak ass motherfuckers throwing shit up in their face later and shit. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
exactly.
Oh, I paid your bill and woo. So, but you fill out people who you having sex with or a relationship with or conversing with. So,
Right.
you know certain people that you know, like I say, I paid the bill because shit I was over there and she was going to school and going to work, so it really wasn't no internet or no TV because she ain't do that shit. She
Exactly.
she make she was making great money. So it wasn't like she couldn't do it herself. She just didn't find no need for it. So
Right.
me over there, if I'm be over here anywhere I go, I gotta have some Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I went and
Okay.
got it. And
And
that's how.
going to get that was something that you would did, so you're not gonna be up there throwing that up in her face, knowing that she's
No,
going to
hell
work and
no,
going to
no, no.
school.
I don't even come from that type of cloth. Hell no. That'd be
Exactly.
classic.
Exactly. So now you understand what I'm saying when I was
No, I understand that certain females been around bitch ass motherfuckers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
mhm. Mhm.
Complain about soft shit. No, I understand that, but we keep it funky here because we ain't that type of breed. You know what I'm saying? We want
Yeah.
to hear. I really want to hear some shit that make me uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on y'all sisters to ask us some questions that make us say, "Ah, shit, I don't know." You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Okay, I've been wanting to ask this question.
Most
Go
deaf. Go
in.
ahead.
How do y'all feel about that? Like, if you've been with somebody, the female that is not like, hey, if you're gonna be around me, you need to come out the pocket, versus the female that's not. What is your experience with that, and how do you feel about that? Like, what is your, how do you feel about it as a male? You the one got to, from
Well,
the male stance. I heard Rez. Rez was solid on his stance.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Off call. Go in.
Um, ask the question once again.
Okay, deal with the female. The female that's saying, hey, if you're gonna be around me, you need to come out the pocket. And the female that's not requiring you to do that. How do you feel?
I don't. I've never really dealt with a female in some fashion or form that didn't require that, whether it was outwardly or implicit. Like it was something that was like need not be said. As far as how I feel about it, that's some shit that we get. Pause right quick so I could not hear myself.
Oh, do I
Shanika.
need to mute my mic?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
So that's kind of a training that we get and that I've gotten myself where, it comes directly from white people, which most shit we get comes from white people. And so, in a sense, I've learned to, or I was taught to internalize my own disposability. and this is a major theme that's across America in which white people dominate, right? A male is supposed to internalize his disposability. Like, goddamn it, how many times have we heard females or seen females that didn't really know how to fix let's say, a car or some shit, or a television, versus trying to understand how to fix the motherfucker. She'll just throw that motherfucker out and get a new one. So as I became a little bit uh, less confused about the situation, I'm like, I shifted my behaviors on that shit. I couldn't tell you how I feel about it because I don't have any feelings about something that just is. It's like that. Generally speaking, females look at motherfucking males as a means to an end in some fashion or some form. Because just like the suspected racist said, if there's nothing to be gleaned from this male, uh, no such attachment takes place with the female. If she can't get anything, nothing, she ain't gonna fuck with that motherfucker, or she will disengage from fucking with him, right? So for me personally, that led me to thinking about other things. Like I was taught that females are the prize. I split hairs with that now because due to being a male and specifically a black male, god damn it, we at the way at the bottom of the food chain. Okay, and so there are things that I'm more willing to do than I've came across females willing to do, like sacrifice shit. You know what I'm saying? For the betterment of myself and we. And so I don't look at it like that anymore. I'm the prize. Even though I am a slave, I'll concede that I'm a slave. But I am the prize, not the pussy. The pussy's not the prize for me anymore. And so that was just a roundabout way of saying I can't tell you how I feel about it because I don't feel any way about it. It is. I just see things in a different way. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. Now, when you saying that you are the prize, what what is your intention when you say that you are the the prize? Are you saying that the female? What are you saying for that? I don't want to attach something to that you didn't say.
What I mean, muted one more time.
Got you.
What I mean by I'm the prize, it's always in the context of what we as BAMs or black males for that matter, that transition from a black male to a BAM, it's the kind of the same thing as a boy to a man, right? Just different. The context in which I got when I was understood to be a young boy and then a young man and then a so-called man and all that bullshit, it was like the female or the pussy was the prize. It's kind of like biblical shit. He who findeth the wife findeth the good thing and all that kind of stuff, right? Um, so that's the context in which I'm keeping it in, and I'm expounding from that context. What I mean by I'm the prize in any scenario that I'm going to be in is simply that I'm going to do more. She's going to get more from me. She's going to get more out of my utility than I will get out of hers. And this is coming from personal experience. I've sacrificed for a lot of baths, and they didn't do more than me because they said, quote, that's what a man's supposed to do, right? I internalized that. So I make sure that certain things are motherfucking done on my end. So ain't nothing to be complained about on that end alone. Now, how they feel about certain things, now that's different. They'll complain, and I'll probably just listen and nod my head or walk away, you know, because I got other shit to do. Um, So what I meant by I'm the prize is that I'm going to sacrifice for us more than she will, and that's been my personal experience, and I don't expect that to change. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Perfect. Very well said. I like the presentation and the context that you kept it in. Wonderful. Hello?
Yeah, y'all got
Yeah,
any other
y'all got any
questions
other
that y'all want to
questions that
ask
y'all want to
us?
ask us?
We all open
We
to it.
all open to it.
Oh, okay. Well, I said my question, so I don't know. KK, you still there? Hello? KK?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. They're asking if you have any questions for the male, so they got done grilling us. We can ask them questions now.
Mm, I don't think I have anything to ask. Not anything I could think of.
You got to keep in mind, Shanika K has been around, so she's gotten. Uh, we would say that she's not really an infantilized Bath, and what I mean by infantilized is childlike. You know what I'm saying? She's been around us, absorbing ideas and concepts and coming to her own conclusions. So maybe the questions that she's had before she's already asked. You know, this is more so for uh, people who I would classify as baths that don't don't know about that term, and they classify themselves, or not even classify themselves, because we don't do the goddamn classifications. Self-identify with the term black woman and the pre-connotations that come with that. See, she's not in that vein, so it might be that's possibly why she doesn't really have a question.
Yeah, I just sit and listen.
Yes, yes. Now we okay. Let me see. Let me see right quick. I did it this time, Rush.